Hello and welcome everyone. Today I am going to be attempting to make the tunnel card that Anna Griffin showed on Monday in the preview for the May shows that she's going to be doing upcoming. And so there were two cards on there that she showed, and she was making a die set for them. And of course we want to get the die set when it comes out, but until then, let's go ahead and make a tunnel card with no dies. Okay, so to start out, I'm going to grab my scraps. These are my pink scraps. They are in a Totally Tiffany Scrap Master, and as you can see, it has pockets. So there's a pocket on the outside. There's nothing in the outside pocket right now, but it has pockets on the inside, and so you can sort your scraps into different sizes, and then you can put your 12 by 12 paper and just kind of nestle it in the center if you want. You don't have to, but then I have this also, and then you can put your bigger scraps here. Now this is not an advertisement for the scrap master or anything like that, but people ask me a lot of times, where do you store stuff? And then there's another pocket on the back that has more scraps in it. So you can see you can store a lot of scraps. But the reason why I have this out right now is because I'm going to grab some scraps from here to make the project that we're going to make right now. And so I kind of don't want to cut into a new sheet of paper when I have all of these scraps. As you can clearly see, they're here. So I'm like, we should use some of these scraps. So I have a lot of this paper here, and what I want to make sure is that I have a double-sided paper, because on that so this one's double-sided and this one is, and even though these are the same pattern, this is not double-sided on the other side, but that's okay. I think mostly for the card base it needs to be double-sided. The rest of it probably doesn't matter as much. So let's grab these pieces here, and let's go ahead and make our project, and hopefully this is enough paper to do it with. So I was going to use this piece of paper as my base, but I just changed my mind and I decided that I'm going to use this one instead. I'm going to use the blue pattern as my base, and then I'm going to use this one as the inside. So the first thing that we're going to want to do is cut our base, and the measurements are going to be 5.5 by 11. For the tunnel part, we're going to need 4 pieces that are 4.25 by 5.5. All right, so there are some more pieces that are going to need to be cut out, but because I was using my scraps and I wasn't really paying attention when I grabbed this piece, I was not thinking about needing that other piece to cover part of this. So for right now, we're just going to move on with our score lines. And since this is 11 inches and I want this to be the inside, I am going to score this at 5.5. So these are going to get scored at 1/2 inch on 2 sides. And since they're going to be going into our card like this, we're going to score on the side that's 4.25. So we'll take our first piece and we'll score it 1/2 inch. on both sides. And then just do that to all 4 of them. Now we need a couple of die sets that we can use to make the concentric inside. So this is the compendium. This is the one that kind of looks like the one that she's gonna be having. Sorry, my camera is all messed up. And there's also this side. So you could use this one or this one. Let's go ahead and use this one on today. So we're gonna just take each one of our pieces here, and we're going to use the inside one on the first one, and then we're gonna use this one, this one, and this one. So this is what it's gonna look like. But we have to line it up so that they all fit together. All right, so here's my Empress and here are my plates. And I think the best way to do this is to take the very first one, put it down on your mat, and it will hit the score lines. And then just try to center it to the best of your ability. Just eyeball it. You can measure it if you want to. I'm just gonna eyeball it. And then run this one through the machine. I gotta turn it on. I didn't plug it in, hold on. Now it's plugged in. Okay, run this one through your machine. And then you have your layer. And then the next one, you're basically just gonna lay this one on top and kind of see. You can use this one also if you want as a guide, like where it would be perfectly lined up. So use the eyeballing technique if you like. That's what I'm going to be doing. And then I'm just going to remove this one. Pray nothing moves. So you can tape it down if you like, and then run that one through. And that's what we're going to do to all of them. And then I'll just show you, hopefully if all went well, then this should be sitting perfectly in between this one. So if we're gonna make a tunnel, then now this one is perfectly in between. So I'll turn it over so you can kind of see the layer. Okay. It's a little off on this side. So maybe measure it if you like, but I'm not going to. And then but maybe if I turn it this way, will it then? There we go. Now it's a little bit better, but you get the point. So let's do the rest of our layers. So I want to see if I can use up some more of my tiny scrap pieces. But in order to do some of the things that she was doing with the leaves and things like that, I'm going to use these dies that come from this die set, and I'm gonna just cut some of these out of gold, matte foil gold cardstock. So now I have my 4 layers here, and when stacked all together, they create a tunnel. Then I also have my pieces that I just cut out from that die set. There's this butterfly, a leaf, and some other florals. Then we have the layers that came out of those there. And I think we may need like this one to stamp a sentiment on to go in the back here. so that it says something, or you can just use it as a background, or you can use the card base as a background. It's really up to you. So we'll see. So we'll keep this one out, and then these ones can just go in our scraps for a different time. And then I have some flowers, a blue flower. I have some leaves. I just went in my scraps and grabbed some stuff because I don't want to cut out anything for this, because I have a lot of scraps. Here's some other blue flowers, and we'll just see if any of this can work, and hopefully it can. And I think that the best way to figure out what we want to put on our card is to just leave this down here, then put our background, possibly if that's what we want, then lift up everything. And this is probably, actually, let's get the card base. Okay, here's the card base. We're going to fold on the score lines here. And so these are going to be sitting, I think they're going to be sitting here up against the side of here. And then we're going to have to create a different side. So they'll fold flat. So you can just use the background as your base if you like. And you could stamp right inside of here also. Or you can do this and stamp inside of here. Just depends on what you want your card to look like. So back to what I was doing. I think I'm gonna stamp on here because it's gonna be a little harder to stamp on that base there. And so then you can take something like a leaf, something maybe probably small, since that's pretty small. And we don't want to cover up whatever we stamp down. So maybe just like a small leaf here. And maybe another small leaf here. And then you can put this over the top. See what that's looking like. Probably should stamp my sentiment, right? And then you're gonna find something else that you want to use. Say we want to use this flower and maybe a gold accent piece. I don't want to cover up whatever it is that I want this to say. So I'm only gonna have things maybe barely poking out like this. And then put this one over the top. See what you can see. How's that looking to you? And then say we want, maybe a leaf here. Right here. Right? Maybe. I'm not really liking it. Might have to start over. But you get the idea of what I'm doing. So this is how you would go about it. I don't like how this is like darker in the background and then it's getting lighter. So I might use some of these lighter leaves, or maybe bring some of the leaves closer up front. Or maybe don't put the flower so far in the background. Maybe I'll put that back there. And then bring the flower up front a little bit more. With some other leaves. I do like the leaves. It's looking like a jungle, huh? Looking like a jungle in here. And so I guess you can't use a whole lot of things on here because then it'll look weird. So a lot of this stuff is not it's just too much. You just need a couple of things. So we want our butterfly here, of course. So the butterfly, maybe up there, and another flower that I guess it will have to go on this side so that we have some direction on this side here. And then I wanted this bird. He could go up here like that, which means that maybe the butterfly would have to come down here. Okay, not so bad, right? Okay, maybe this is what we can do, something like this. All right, I'll have to commit this to memory and we'll come back and put it together. Okay, so for this, I think that I'm going to have to use the stamping platform. And what I'm gonna do is pull this out, open it up, remove these magnets, because the real magnets are underneath. Okay, and put this down, put this on top, and my stamp is this one, and hopefully you can see what it says. It says, hold on, how can you see this? Okay. It says, may your day be as special as you are. It's this one from this stamp set from Anna Griffin. And it's gonna be a Mother's Day card. So on the other side, I'm gonna put this one, which said on the front, I mean, it's gonna say, wishing you a lovely Mother's Day. Hey, why not, right? So with this stamp positioner, put my magnet down, put my die, or my stamp, sorry, on here where I want it, make sure it's lined up, close the stamp positioner, and pray for the best. I'm gonna use the Memento Tuxedo Black because I think it should be black just because it's gonna be so far in the background. I want it to really come through. And since I've never used this stamp, maybe I should have cleaned it off with an eraser or something, but I didn't. Just gonna gently rub. Hopefully everything goes well. Not so shabby. I'm gonna do it one more time. Hopefully one more time. Close it down. Gently, gently, very gently. Rub. And I think I'm not gonna press my luck with this. I'm gonna go with it. Yep. So we now have that portion, and I will show you what that looks like. I guess I didn't center this piece, but it doesn't matter. As long as I center it in here, it'll be fine, because I just have to make sure it's somewhere in there centered, right? And it doesn't have to be like right on here. It probably will be in the back. So maybe I should have centered it a little bit better. Well, if you mess up, you can always go and grab one of your other pieces and use it instead, because any of these will fit in the background of here, so, and no one will ever have to know, so it's fine if you mess it up. Just keep going. I have my card base. I put on the pieces here onto the different panels, and I just wanted to show you guys that where maybe it's like hanging off, like on this one, flip it over, see if there's any pieces that are hanging off, and then just cut them like this so that everything is perfectly square on your card. Okay, so then then everything looks like this, and it all will stay within the lines. And then I put some double-sided tape just everywhere after I scored it on the score line here. So now we're going to put this together, starting with the smallest. Well, we have our sentiment. We won't forget about that. But we're gonna start with this one. And so I'm going to peel off the double-sided adhesive, and then I'm going to line this up on the score line. So this is the score line right here, and I'm going to put it on the opposite side, right here. So you'll see when I lift this up that this is on this side, so on the left side. So for my very off-centered stamped piece, I'm just gonna, it's on foam pads, so I'm just gonna peel these off. And I want us to be able to see this when this is fully open, so I'm gonna kind of put it like this, like if it were open, and slide this under here and kind of eyeball center it, and then put it down just like that. So hopefully that's centered, and when the card's all put together, it will look right. All right, so now that looks like that. And you can, like I said, just put it on the back of here. It doesn't have to be there, but it gives it just a whole nother level if you do it like this. It gives it more dimension. All right, so the next piece goes right here. So pull off your tape, or you can glue this if you like, and then fold this part down, and then butt this end up right up against it, just like that, and then rub that down, and now you have two panels, you can see. So to make our cover, to cover over this, we're going to use our ruler, and at our score line we're going to measure. So you're going to need a piece that's 4.5 inches, and then a piece that is 5.5 inches to cover this. And then you're going to score it at 2 inches, because that's pretty much where how much space is here, but you're going to need a little give for it to move, so at 2 inches. Now I do not have a piece that big, so I'm makeshifting mine, but don't do as I do, do as I say. So I found this piece. It's not big enough, but I'm going to make it work here. And the thing I'm going to need to do is score it. So here we go. So you should have your piece that's 5.5 inches by 4.5 inches, scored at 2 inches. And then you can take all of your tape off of these, all at the same time. And you're just gonna do that one by one. And you can see that this is coming together very, very nicely. And I wasn't sure about the pattern here with the pink and the blue. It's not my favorite right now, but you know, it works. So I'm just adhering that down here. And then with this flat, you then put down this piece, but I didn't put it with double-sided adhesive, so I'm just gonna put it with some glue. Prayerfully, this works the way I saw it work. And we're just gonna go like that, and then push this part down. Try to align it here. And then this should do that whole tunnel thing. Now, of course, your piece will go further across. Now, mine's isn't closing, so maybe I did something wrong. So, I'm glad I put glue, because now I'm gonna pull this up. See, it closed. So that's what it's like when it's closed. So I'm gonna re-glue this actually. Sorry about my mistake here. I don't know what I did wrong, but I'm gonna keep going. I'm gonna just pull this up. And this time I'm gonna close it over the top like this instead, to make sure it's right, that it folds flat. Okay, I have glue all over my hands. Now I'm gonna open it and see if it opens. Okay, it opens and it closes. Okay, so maybe I just did that a little too tight, because it was pretty much still in the same spot when I glued it back down the second time, but be careful of that. You don't wanna do that. Okay, so let me give you a close-up. I'm putting the pen back in my glue right now. And let me just give you a close-up of what this looks like. Okay, so we still need to decorate the front, the sides. I'm gonna need to hide where can you see my like line right there? Because I didn't have enough paper. You can decorate this side, and then you can also decorate the front. So right now I'm gonna take my last couple of pieces here. We're gonna just decorate the front, and I'm gonna glue this down. So just a little bit of glue here. Maybe I should have put this one on first, because then I could have cut it off, but it's okay. Then I have my little butterfly, gonna go on next, and it's just gonna go over right over the top of that flower, just like that. And we just have one more element and we're done. We are almost finished with this card. So I stamped the sentiment for the front of the card, wishing you a lovely Mother's Day, and that's gonna go here in the center, and just get it glued down with some glue. And everything that I'm pretty much using in this card, if it looks strange, it's because I'm only using scraps. I'm trying not to cut out anything new. I did end up having to cut out this circle, but that was it. Other than that, I want to use everything from my scraps or something that I already just cut out for this card. So that goes in the center. Hopefully it's straight. I think it is. And then I had this scrap in of course in my scraps. And so I'm just gonna put this around it and cover that over like that. So you can already see some of the other things that I have available to me here. I was thinking about surrounding it once again with this, which I actually do like. So I probably will put that one on here. Also, I was wondering if I should prop it up or just glue it straight down. I think that I will wait because I don't know. So I'm gonna put the bird up here, kind of like how we did on the inside. Have some of these elements on the outside. And I know he's hard to see because of the glare in the camera. So just take some glue or foam pads. Maybe he would be better on foam, propped up a bit. Now I'm just gonna glue it down. I'm gonna just glue this branch part straight down to here. And then there's gonna be a couple of flowers. This one matches the pattern on our card here. I know it's hard to see. I will put it up for you guys in just a second. Let me take the backer off of there, and we're gonna glue or put that flower right there. So this is looking like this right now. And then the second flower is going to go right here. Probably up a little bit so it's in the words. You're coming toward the words. And then I'm going to put this inside. Maybe something like that. Just put a little bit glue on the stem here and then tuck it in, and then just let it kind of be where it wants to be. And then just hold it down till it takes. And then we'll move on to decorating, oh, I forgot about my circle I wanted to put on here. Oh, maybe it would be better with this side actually. I gotta put this on. Okay, hold on while I put this on. Okay, that looks so much better now, doesn't it? Okay, so there's the front of our card. Looking amazing, right? So let's decorate the inside. And doesn't the inside look amazing also? Okay, so for the inside of the card, I ended up just putting those 2 flourishes down. Then I put, remember those bows I cut out in the last couple videos? So I put 2 of them here and then 1 right there. And now we just have to do this side. And that, my friends, is our finished card. So here's what it looks like on the outside. And then this is the inside. So hopefully you enjoyed making a tunnel card with me today. If you did, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.